The man who tried to stop a revolution and was executed for it. He did not believe in violence. Not because he was afraid of it, but because he believed it was easy. Too easy to destroy. Too easy to justify. And far too easy to replace one form of cruelty with another. He believed the harder task was this: to change how people think before changing who holds power. That belief would cost him his life. In the late 19th century, the Philippines lived under Spanish colonial rule. For most people, injustice was not dramatic. It was ordinary. It lived in paperwork that favored Spaniards over natives. In churches where authority went unquestioned. In a system where silence was safer than truth. José Rizal was born into this world, but he did not accept it as normal. He was brilliant, unusually so. A physician trained in Europe. A writer fluent in many languages. A man welcomed in intellectual circles far from home. He could have stayed there. Many expected him to. Instead, he kept looking back at a country that could offer him very little in return. What disturbed Rizal most was not only oppression, but how accustomed people had become to it. He noticed something subtle and dangerous. People had learned to endure injustice without questioning it. So he decided not to shout orders, not to organize armies, but to write. His first novel, Touch Me Not, did not call for revolution. It did something far more unsettling. It showed everyday life under colonial rule, the corruption, the hypocrisy, the quiet humiliations people had learned to tolerate. Readers recognized themselves in its pages. That recognition was the real threat. The Spanish authorities understood this immediately. The book was banned. Owning it became dangerous. But banning it only made it travel faster. People copied passages by hand. They read it in secret. They passed it quietly from one household to another. Rizal knew what this meant. Once words escape into people's private thoughts, they can no longer be controlled. His second novel, The Reign of Greed, was darker. More bitter. Less hopeful. It was not a call to arms, but it showed what happens when reform is denied for too long. Still, Rizal refused to endorse violence. He warned young radicals not to rush toward bloodshed. He believed a revolution built on rage would only inherit the habits of its oppressors. This position made him lonely. To the colonial government he was dangerous. To revolutionaries he was frustrating. He stood in between, a position history rarely forgives. When armed uprisings finally broke out in 1896, Rizal was not leading them. He was not even encouraging them. That did not matter. He was arrested anyway. The charge was not treason in action, but treason of the mind. He was accused of inspiring rebellion, of shaping ideas that could not be undone. The trial was brief. The outcome predetermined. Rizal did not protest loudly. He did not attempt to bargain. He understood something others did not. This was never about what he had done, but about what his words had already accomplished. The night before his execution he was allowed paper. He wrote a poem. Not a manifesto. Not a denunciation. A farewell. The poem would later be known as My Last Farewell. In it there is no hatred. No curses. Only calm acceptance and a hope that his death might serve as a warning or a seed. He hid the poem inside his clothing, knowing it might never be read. The next morning he was led to the execution ground. He was meant to be shot in the back, the punishment reserved for traitors. At the final moment he turned his body. He faced the sky as he fell. It was a quiet act of defiance. Not against death, but against humiliation. Rizal did not want to be a martyr. He had hoped to prevent a violent revolution. Instead, his execution ignited one. After his death, resistance intensified. People no longer argued about whether change was necessary. They argued only about how much blood it would cost. History is often cruel in this way. It takes a man who tries to slow violence, kills him, and then uses his death as fuel. Today, Rizal is remembered as a national hero. But that title misses something essential. He was not a symbol of victory. He was a symbol of restraint. A reminder that the most dangerous ideas are not shouted but quietly understood. And that sometimes, the man who refuses to fight changes history more than those who do.